G'day everyone. I wanted to take you through a bit more of a review of Camrote. I did review it the other day, but the apps and everything weren't available at that time. Simon contacted me this morning to say that the in-app purchases were now available. This also is only available on the iPhone, so if you have got another operating system for your phone, it might be best if you don't watch this. But basically, he did give me a code so I could use it, so I could share that with you, the apps that are available, just so I could sort of demo how that works. And they seem to be really good. There's a couple of things that I have to contact Simon about, though. There is an issue when I connected it to my A7 III this morning. The in-app purchases, for some reason, didn't show up. So that could still be a bug. Remember, this is really early software and he seems to be improving it all the time. In fact, he said there's going to be another update in the coming days that addresses a lot of the bugs and everything that's there at the moment. I also wanted to show you the focusing though. Now the focusing's not available on the A7 III or the later cameras at this stage due to something that Sony's done in the firmware. But it is available on the A7R2 and obviously the A7 II. Now Simon is going to eventually get the other cameras and then work some updates towards those cameras as well. Obviously as he starts to get more funds brought through the app, he'll be able to purchase some of these other cameras or get a loan of one so they can develop the app to suit those other cameras that are out there. But it seems to work really amazingly well on the A7R. Apart from the A7R2, apart from a couple of bugs I've noticed, and I'll show you that in a second, that I'll obviously have to mention to Simon. I'm sure he'll watch this anyway. So let's have a look at the app anyway, and I'll sort of take you through what the differences are in the app itself. So the update doesn't change the way the operating system looks or the way the app looks at all. It's just now that you get a couple of different features when we look across here, that now I'll have photos showing up on the screen here. So if I click into there, you'll notice now I've got photo, time lapse, continuous. Video is saying unavailable due to the fact that we have the dial on the Sonys that you have to turn the dial onto video, and then the video would actually appear and you can record the video. So that's the only difference that's there. And I'll take you through these in a second just to show you how it actually works. Now what you can do, I'm just going to take you through this quickly in case if you haven't watched the other video, but if I click on ISO, I'm on auto ISO at the moment. I can change that to any setting that I like until I get the correct one. You can see that that shows now that I'm using 640 on the ISO. Aperture again, you can change exactly the same way. Now, if you don't like the way this works, if you go into settings, you can change that so it becomes buttons rather than the sliders, and I'll show you that in a minute. Shutter speed is here. So again, you can change your shutter speed to what you want. Now, if you want to set timer, you can actually do that by clicking here and set up to 10 minutes as well. Exposure compensation is grayed out due to the fact that I'm not shooting in aperture mode at the moment. I'm just shooting in manual. If I change that to exposure compensation, aperture, which I'll do. Now the exposure compensation shows up, so I can go from -5 to 5 there. So that's how that works. But let me just switch that back. I'll just put that back to 0. And I'll go back to manual again. Like always, I just like shooting in manual. So basically, if you look at it, that's the way the software works. Now, the great thing is with the older cameras like the A7R, like what I'm on now, if I'm happy with that exposure, I can then just click onto the screen and I will get focus showing up on my screen. So I can just tap to get focus. Now, I don't know why Sony took that out or they haven't given us that ability to do that with the later cameras. Hopefully there's a workaround. A couple of people did mention to me that it is possible, so I'm hoping that Simon may be able to get this to work. But brilliant feature, because I could be doing this as shooting myself, and then I can be grabbing focus wherever I want it. Then I could switch it onto video and start recording. If you are in video, obviously this will only work if you are in continuous mode, and you won't be able to touch to focus though. I've tried it and it didn't work with the A7R2 anyway. But because you're in continuous focus, it would track me anyway, so it would work. But I could, like I said, click onto here, then switch it over to video mode, and then that point would be in focus. So that's how that works. In the settings, before I show you some of these other things, I'll just show you that in the settings itself, it does tell you the camera model there. So it's saying it's the A7R Mark II, Sony Corporation. The API version is 1. Like I said, there's an update coming in a few days, version 1.1 I said, which fixes some bugs and things like that. You can change your sliders if you wanted to, and look at the other video if you wanted to check that out. You can change it to buttons as well. You can start the geotagging on launch. And I have got geotagging run, and I'll show you that. I just don't want to show the photo because it'll show my address. The distance threshold you can change as well. Automatically connect. In-app purchases, that's where you buy the in-app purchases through there if you want to get those time lapse and things like that as well. Now you can contact Simon directly through here if you want to. So you can report an issue. You can also do a review as well. So if you did want to do that, or even send him feedback about some features that you'd love to add onto the camera, you can do directly through here at the same time. But like I said, I'm really happy with how this is working. Like I said, the only issue was that I couldn't get the time-lapse app or anything to work in the A7 III, so it may still be a bug. So I'm going to try that again later, or contact Simon just to see if there was an issue with that. Now, also inside here, if I click on photo at the moment, if I wanted to go to time-lapse, you can see that this is where your time-lapse app now comes up. You can change the delay through here to anything that you want. You can have, for instance, if I wanted to go 1 second, the interval you can change as well. So every 5 seconds it'll take a shot. Let's just do 3. So for this, in this case, and then you can say how many shots you'd like. I'm just going to put say 5 just to show you how this works. Oops, I put 2,000. So if I just say 5, it then tells you that roughly what this will give you. It just says these settings will generate 1 second footage. It'll take approximately 1 minute 10 seconds to capture. So that's how that works. And then I just say done. Now then it tells you there, if you notice it's got 5 in the little circle there, which is what I'll press. So if I now go and press that, you'll see it'll count down. So it's taking a shot with the settings that I just put into the camera before. So that seems to work really well. Like, this will be great if you can get this to work on the A7 III and the other cameras like my A9 that don't have that intervalometer. So that would be fantastic if I get that ability and it works. Inside here, you've got also continuous. So if I wanted to shoot continuous, I can just click that and it will just shoot off until I press it again. So you can see how that works. Again, that could be very handy as well. And if I wanted to look into here now, I'll just put that back to photo. If I wanted to click back to here, now I've got many more grid modes that I can go. Like I said, you can get this crosshairs. I can go down and have rule of thirds. If I want to as well, you can have the golden ratio. So there's stacks of different ones that you can have in there, depending on how you'd like to frame your image. Again, these are paid for. You get a certain amount in the free version, and there's a lot more if you've got the paid version. Now, you can get these upgrades independently. Like I said, if you want to, let me just turn those off. If you wanted to pay for just the time-lapse app, you can. You don't have to pay for the whole lot, because if I go into the settings here, and then if I go down to where it says in-app purchases, I can't do it because I'd have to disconnect it. You'll see that there's a purchase for the time-lapse app, there's a purchase for the geotagging. Now the geotagging itself, like I said, is on at the moment. You can see it's on red down or orange down the bottom there where it says stop. So if I did want to go into the geotagging, you can then export that as well with your photo, which looks really good. I can transfer images, so if I want to click up to there, I can actually say transfer images and it will show what I've got today. And then I can transfer those over to my phone. You can see that was the time lapse I did in the continuous shooting that I just did before, which looks really great. seems to be really great. Let me just go back into settings. So in the settings itself, you can have different settings for RAW, JPEG. You can do RAW plus JPEG, or you can make it ask every time. So you can choose from that if you want to. I've just got it set at RAW at the moment. You can start the Geo-Tagging on launch if you want to run that way as well. So it has some fantastic features. It will automatically connect if you click on that. But it seems to now be a really full package, apart from a few bugs that Simon still has to work out. Like I said, I can't get the time lapse. I'm going to have to play around with it. It might be a setting I've got on my A7 III. I should try it with the A9 in a minute and see if it works on that. But I couldn't get those settings where it shows that to show up on the A7 III at this stage. I'm sure it's only a bug and something that Simon is going to be able to fix. But boy, if you have something like the A7 II or the A7R2, fantastic to have all these features built in. Yes, in the R2 you can use the Play Memories apps built in there, but this is a really nice featured app, and I'm sure it's just going to get better and better now as he offers more and more features and fixes a few bugs that are out there. So let me know in the comment box down below too, whether have you tried this with the A7 III yet, and did you get it to work? I'm just curious to know. I would love this to work with my A7 III fully. It will work, it's just that I couldn't get like I said, that feature where it shows time-lapse and the continuous or the video function to show up on the A7 III. Like I said, I'm sure that's just a bug, and I'll have to contact Simon about that. But let me know anyway down below. Just thought I'd share this with you to say that the apps are available now. Initially when it was launched, it just tried to keep downloading and they weren't available there, but they certainly are now. And like I said, this will add some amazing features if you're doing the A7 III, the A9, if that feature works as I expect it to in the coming days. It will be an amazing app. I'm not paid by Simon at all to run this. He did send me a code though, so I could show you those apps working, which I've done. I just wish you could do that focus, like I said, the same with the A9 or the A7 III, you know, where you can just tap to focus, which will be fantastic. Apart from that though, looks like it's going to be a really great app to use if you have an iPhone. And that's all for now, guys. So if you can, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Obviously, I do have Patreon now if you'd like to go through that. If you are against Patreon, I have got a direct link where you can get the same features to join the website and everything by paying through my website with a Visa card. And that can be one way around it as well. All right, guys, catch you all in the next video. Bye for now.